will do the sermon.
That's okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're all doing well today. Great. So, did you ever ask yourself, what is the power within you? What is your superpower? Personal power is a sense of self-confidence, inner strength, and control over one's life. Most people today do not feel that they have control over their life. But when we have personal power, we are able to face challenges, overcome obstacles, and live our lives with purpose and meaning. What unleashes your inner power? It's your brain. Your brain unleashes your inner power. Do you know that accelerated learning helps people tap into their brain's full potential? You can unlock your inner genius, empowering yourself to live a life of greater power, productivity, and purpose. How would it feel to be limitless? Let me tell you a story of a real-life man. Let's call him Bob, not his real name. Bob had a head injury as a young child. He had trouble learning in school. Kids made fun of him. His teacher called him the boy with the broken brain. That label became his limit. Every time he did badly in school, which was often, he said to himself, "Oh, well, that's because I have a broken brain." Pulling himself together was not easy. As you know, everyone has their own struggles. And we also know that with struggle comes strength. I don't know one person, one strong person, who had an easy life. Getting back to Bob, while continuing to do badly in school, even in college, Bob met a mentor at the age of 18, just when he was ready to quit college as a freshman due to his low grades. During the first meeting with Bob and his soon-to-be mentor, the mentor asked Bob, "How's school?" Bob lost it and broke down and started crying. The mentor then asked him, "Why are you in school?" Bob really didn't know why. It was just something people do and then get a job. The mentor asked him to write down his dreams. No one had ever asked Bob that question before. Bob took out a piece of paper and went through the exercise of writing his goals and dreams. When he was done, the mentor grabbed the paper and started reading out loud what Bob wrote. Bob was astonished that anyone would even care about what he wrote. When the mentor was done reading Bob's list, he says, "You are this close to getting everything you have on that list." Upon hearing these words, Bob thought, "No way, even if I had 10 lifetimes to crack this list, I'm not going to do it." The mentor tells Bob, It's all in your brain. The mentor takes Bob to his library. Now, seeing all these books to a person like Bob, really, it intimidated him. The mentor starts grabbing books off the shelf, mostly biographies of historical people, and some self-help books, like Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking. By the way, he lived till 95 years old, so he might be onto something. Another book the mentor pulled off the shelf was The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, and Dale Carnegie's How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Then the mentor tells Bob, leaders are readers, and I want you to read one book a week. Bob said, "Are you kidding me? I just told you I'm a very poor learner. This was too difficult," and he had a lot of schoolwork to catch up on. The mentor said, "Don't let schooling interfere with your education." And I'll repeat that. Don't let schooling interfere with your education, which is a quote by Mark Twain. Bob thought this made sense, but would not promise to read these books with his schoolwork weighing heavily on him. To encourage Bob, the mentor again started to read out loud Bob's goals and intentions. And at that moment, something changed inside Bob. When another person said out loud his dreams, something profoundly changed in him. So Bob had books to read for his classes and the ones he promised to read per his mentor's request. He basically lived at the university library, not eating enough, not sleeping enough. He was motivated. Then one night at 2 a.m. in the morning, Bob unfortunately passes out and falls down a flight of stairs. He hits his head again and wakes up 2 days later in the hospital. During this dark time of his life, Bob thought there has to be a better way. When he had this thought, a nurse came in the hospital room with a mug of tea. On the mug was a picture of a genius, Albert Einstein. Bob thought to himself that he was the opposite of someone like Einstein. Then Bob read the Einstein's quote on the mug. "You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it." I'll repeat that. You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. This got Bob to thinking, and he asked himself this question: what really is my problem? He thought, I have a broken brain, I'm a very slow learner. How do I think differently about this? Maybe I can fix my brain. Maybe I can learn how to learn better. So then he decides to pick up the university course bulletin to look at the courses, and they were all classes on what to learn, like math, science, Spanish, but there were 0 classes on how to learn. No classes on focus or remembering. So Bob took it upon himself to start reading the Power of Mind books. And within 60 days, he studied speed reading and how the ancient societies remembered things. Think about it. What did the ancient Greeks do when there were no printing presses? How did they remember things? After these 60 days of learning, which were on his terms this time, Bob felt a light switch turn on, and he started to understand things for the very first time in his life. Bob started to have incredible laser focus, started retaining information. His grades began to improve along with his confidence and improvement in other areas of his life. He started to tutor students, and one of his first students read 30 books in 30 days. Not skim or scan, but really read them. Bob wanted to find out what her motivation was. What he found out is that her mother was dying and was given 2 months to live by the doctors. The books she was reading were books on how to save her mom's life. After the tutoring sessions completed, Bob wished her luck. Then, 6 months later, Bob gets a call from the student. She is crying and crying. Then he finds out why. They are tears of joy. Her mother survived and was really getting better. Her doctors were surprised and called it a miracle. But the mother contributed this to the great advice her daughter learned from all those books she read. In that moment, Bob realized if knowledge is power, then learning is our superpower. This is a superpower we all have. His mission was to build better, brighter brains, leaving no brain left behind. That is Bob's story. So what is your story? Do you underestimate your capabilities? Do you blame things on age, background, career, education, financial situation, gender history, or IQ? We really have so much more potential inside us than we realize. Advancing and progressing beyond what you believe in is possible. A big part of what holds us back is our mindset. This is a set of assumptions and attitudes about something. For example, a person can learn a great method about making money, but if their mindset is, I don't deserve it, or something like, I may have to hurt people on my way to the top, they will probably be stuck in that area. Because all behavior is belief-driven. One definition of a lie, L-I-E, is limited, idea, entertained. Something that is not true, but we're giving our energy to it. So to unlimit yourself, you need to address these lies you keep on telling yourself. And one lie could be, intelligence is fixed. This is one of those ideas that people believe. Intelligence is fixed or memory is fixed, like your shoe size. In science, when they've studied this, they say it's absolutely not true, although many people believe this to be true. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. This is a statement by Henry Ford, and I'll repeat it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, because it's your belief. But the truth is not how smart you are, but how are you smart? There are multiple types of intelligences. Howard Gardner talked about this while researching at Harvard University, describing intelligence as a combination of attitude, actions, and content. Or a better way of saying this is, intelligence is fluid. We are smarter than we think. Perhaps you've heard this myth that humans only use 10% of their brains. Some of us heard this from a friend or from media or a class. It's not true, actually. We use 100% of our brain. Just like we use 100% of our body. Some people use their body differently, maybe more efficiently than others. And the truth is, all the power of your brain is available to you. And it's available now. The key is to learn how to use your brain as effectively and efficiently as possible. Here's a new concept for you. Instead of thinking you only use 10% of your brain, you could say, I am learning how to use my whole brain in the best ways possible. I'll repeat that. I am learning how to use my whole brain in the best ways possible. How does that feel when you say that? Another lie is mistakes are failures. This is something a lot of people subconsciously believe. This can hold you back. You may not do things because you're scared of making mistakes. Try thinking about it this way. We make mistakes, but mistakes do not have to make us. We make mistakes, but the mistakes do not have to make us. There are no failures, only failures to learn something. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is just part of success. Getting feedback is great. It is the breakfast of champions. When you think of children, they have a great attitude when it comes to learning. When a child is learning how to walk, they get encouragement from the grown-ups around them. They will fall, probably many times, but they always get back up. Sometimes, as adults, we could try something new, like take a dance class, take a programming class, or attending a spiritualist church. If we do not do something well the first time we try, which is really normal, some people just stop because they do not want to look bad. There is no such thing as failure, just a failure to learn something. Now again, I ask you, what is your superpower? What is the power within you that makes you you? I hope that you go on with your day today with a little more confidence in yourself, with a little more confidence to try new things, and believe that you can do whatever you put your mind to. It's time, today, to find your brain's full potential. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful.
Amen.